ABC24 This Week starts right now.
Hello, and thank you for watching ABC24 This Week. I am your host, Pepper Baker. You are here for the real stories behind the big stories, and I hope you'll continue to watch us every Sunday at 9 a.m., 10:35 p.m., or on 24+. All right, let's see who's at the table today. Of course, as always, ABC24 political analyst Otis Sanford. We have former Memphis City Council Chair and Shelby County Schools Board member Scott McCormick, and Pastor Keith Norman of First Baptist Church Broad. Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you.
All right, let's get to the topics. First up, tensions are escalating in the Middle East with attacks between America and Iran. We'll hear from a Tennessee senator and congressman on both sides of the conflict and why Mid-Southerners need to pay attention to this war. Then ICE is impacting schools, from detaining a student to affecting MSCS's chronic absenteeism problem. Are students safe? And lastly, there's some drama with candidates deciding whether or not to participate in certain Shelby County mayoral forums. We will discuss how candidates and voters should vet whether a forum is fair and unbiased. Okay, back to number one. The U.S. launched a major military campaign against Iran about a week ago in what President Donald Trump has named Operation Epic Fury. America is striking targets across Iran while Iran counterattacks, sending missiles and drones at Israel and U.S. assets in the region. Iranian state television confirmed that the supreme leader of Iran, Ali Khamenei, was among those killed by airstrikes in Tehran. Now, his successor is yet to be named. Iran media reporting nearly 800 people killed. The Trump administration confirming 6 Americans killed in action and 18 service members injured at the time of this recording. Now, thousands of Americans are still stranded abroad, and the U.S. is sending upwards of 50,000 troops to the region. So what's this all for, and why is it necessary? Here's what Republican Tennessee Senator David Kustoff and Democratic Congressman... Oh, excuse me. Thank you, Otis. Republican Tennessee Congressman David Kustoff and Democratic Congressman Steve Cohen had to say.
President should have come to Congress and asked for a declaration of war. He didn't do that. I think they're claiming they don't need it. I guess there's always a claim to both sides, but I think they should have. And the Constitution strictly says that you should come to Congress. Congress can declare war, because we didn't want to have a king or somebody like a king, a president who took these powers, to commit our fellow Americans to war where they could die.
The president does have the legal authority to do what he's done, that strike that he ordered against Iran. We know that we've seen the loss of American servicemen and women, and I think we all have a heavy heart knowing that those men and women have been lost. In the short term, this is messy. In the long term, this is going to benefit our national security, and we will have eliminated a major threat to the United States.
Otis, I'll have you open it up here. This is also seeing an impact at home on gas prices as well. So why should Mid-Southerners pay attention to this war?
Well, obviously, because of that. There's the economic issue here. There's the cost of human lives here. And the president has already said there's probably going to be some more lives lost here. So we should be paying attention to this. Plus, anytime America gets into a conflict that escalates like this into a war, whether you want, some people are not calling it that, it is a war. But I'm just glad that at least Congressman Kustoff and Congressman Cohen are talking about this, so our local viewers can understand where they're coming from. And I'll say this. There was another sound bite that you didn't play that Congressman Kustoff gave to ABC24, where he talked about historically the problems we've had with Iran, and we have. Going all the way back to 1979, when they took 60 American hostage at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran. That was a huge story back then, and I was a young reporter, and I covered it because the U.S. government decided to round up Iranian teenagers, Iranian students in college, and deport them if they were not here legally. And that became a huge story. So I was glad that Congressman Kustoff brought that up. But we should be caring about this because this is affecting human lives. It's affecting the economy at a time when we got a lot of other problems going on.
Most definitely. And yes, that interview with Congressman Kustoff was about 30 minutes, so we couldn't air all of it. Scott, I want to ask you here. So one of the things is the approval or lack thereof from Congress to even go to war or do the strikes. So what do you have to say about how President Trump went about that action?
Well, I think in a situation like that, time is of the essence. I mean, the reports are that they felt like Iran was getting ready to strike other countries, Israel, and Israel was getting ready to strike Iran, and our forces joined with Israel could really have a devastating effect on Iran's military, which it has. But, you know, I hate war. I mean, and I hate to think that our young women and men in the armed services are at risk. But Iran is a powder keg just waiting to explode. And if they were to get to the point that they were able to have nuclear capability, that would be devastating for that whole region, not just the Middle East, but our NATO, our allies in NATO, and possibly, I know it would be a long way, but possibly affect us over here. So, you know, necessary steps have to be taken, and sometimes you have to make decisions. Now, should Congress have some say if this escalates or continues to go? Absolutely, but the initial strike, I think it was prudent to make the decision and do it.
So that does, I think a lot of people, especially that I see on social media, are just kind of wondering what could happen here at home, not just economically, but could we potentially see any strikes hitting America? So Pastor Norman, I'll ask you here, you know, are Americans on home turf safe? We know there's a bunch stranded abroad, but just, yeah, all of that.
Well, by and large, we believe that we are safe and well protected from any external things. However, there could be cell groups that have been, brought to bear already, and they could carry out the agenda of Iran. Let me say this, that this has been a 47-year conflict that every president of the United States has probably had to deal with in his own way throughout the administration. And whether or not we like the procedural way that this has taken place, the problematic issue has been Iran cannot have a nuclear warhead. And this has been stated over and over again. NATO has even taken this conversation up at one point or another. And so when Iran continues to show this type of aggression and continues to not want to come to the table and sit down and say, let's inspect, let's go through the process, let's make sure that these things aren't happening, at some point this problematic issue has to come to the table. The procedural things, they didn't happen in the way that we would like to see them happen, but I agree, you don't go and show your hand when you're about to go into war. You don't tell your enemy what you are about to do. And so at some point you have to make a decision. Now, what do I think we need to do now? I think the president needs to come back to Congress now, set the framework. How long will this last? How far will we go? To what extent will we spend and invest? And where is the bottom line? What's the goal here? And once we can frame it with some understanding and give American citizens some confidence that this is going the right way, I think we can make it through this crisis.
And Otis, I want to ask you, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I don't thoroughly disagree with either one of these gentlemen about the rationale for doing what he did. The problem is he's given too many different explanations for why he did what he did. And it keeps changing day by day. Regime change, threatening other assets. I mean, it's all over the place. And there's just been some callous comments made by Defense Secretary Hegseth throughout this whole process. So I just think that it's kind of ham-handed in the way that they have responded and communicated with the public and certainly with Congress about doing this whole thing. That's all I'm saying.
Agreed. Hegseth is the wrong messenger. I mean, morning by morning when I watch his briefings, the arrogance and the overstatement of some of the things that he says, just inappropriate for this point in time. Because remember, we all have people who we're concerned about, young people who are from our congregations, in my case, who are there. And so I don't want to see this aggression raised and taunted with people so that they carry out these other things that they're threatening to do against innocent people. I want to see those people brought home safely. I want to see all of those families who were there brought home safely. And so we've done the deed. Now let's finish the task and move forward.
One more point on this. I have watched ABC Network a lot, and they have actually made points to say how Iran's allies have yet to step in. Russia hasn't really made any moves, and China. You know, is there a strategy there, or if this continues to escalate, could they at some point, or would they have to? I'll ask you, Scott. So?
I mean, I don't know the direct relationships between, Iran and China and Russia. I know that they're not on our side, and so that conceivably you could think. But going to your point, though, about the comments that are made, I watched last night I think it was the foreign minister of Iran was being interviewed on one of the national broadcasts. And this man was so delusional. He said the United States has failed in their attack on Iran. And they were like, well, how have we failed? We've pretty much wiped out your military. And he said, well, the president said you would have victory in 6 days, and he hasn't had it in 6 days, and you will fail. And you have failed. And then they were saying, like, well, what do you think about the possibility of U.S. troops coming in? And he goes, I welcome that. We're waiting on them. So, the posturing of the politicians and that needs to be the mission is we have to contain Iran and get rid of the regime that's in there and hopefully have some say in who takes over.
Okay.
I only say one pushback to that. I'm not concerned about how Iran responds as much as I'm concerned about how we as a nation responds.
Right.
And our response does not need to ramp up or taunt people, especially as we have innocent men and women who are in those spaces that we need to bring home.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you, gentlemen, on that segment. We're going to take it back here domestically, and a problem that we're still fighting every day. Immigration enforcement, we're seeing it make its way into schools. We'll talk about it. Stay with us.